And this evening, I do want to share out of the experience that we're having with Food Maven as co-founder and CEO. And as Tom mentioned, we are looking to innovate and transform a big swath of the food system. Now, you probably are aware that a lot of food gets lost, but you may be surprised at the magnitude. It's estimated $300 billion every year just in the U.S. grocery system. 40% of what U.S. agriculture produces is thrown away. And again, as Tom mentioned, as a farm kid, it kills me because I know how hard we work. This is actually my younger brother and his daughter out irrigating and harvesting the crop. A third of what goes into landfills, hundreds of billions of tons, is food waste. It's the largest methane gas producer in the United States. Not to mention the fact that it represents a massive loss of just resource. But it doesn't happen there. It's not at the farm, it's not that landfill, it happens in the food system. And the US food system is this really complex web of producers and growers and wholesalers and distributors and ultimately tens of thousands of grocery stores. Now, let me just say in defense of the US food system, it is a truly remarkable thing that if you have money, 320 million people, basically, we all have basically anything you could possibly want to eat. No bread lines, never run out. Still, it's shocking how much food is lost. And so I wanted to kind of focus on what are the ways it gets lost. First is the nature of ag production is pretty inflexible, right? If you plant carrots mid-season, you can't say, let's change it to beets. I mean, you're stuck with carrots. Similarly, if you plant an orchard, you're stuck with that crop for the next 25 years. And if you're in the livestock business, you've maybe heard the one about the chicken and the pig at the bacon and egg breakfast. Chicken's involved, the pig is committed. So when you're a farmer, you commit typically at least a year in advance to whatever the crop is you're going to produce. Next factor is this 1950s style logistics that really defines our food system. It's a huge hub and spoke system, long haul, not very flexible, and has a lot of inefficiencies. And it basically works like this. If you produce melons in Rocky Ford, you ship it to LA, it gets shipped to Denver, and a lot of it gets thrown away. We all also live with this abundance expectation. Our expectation is that we always have everything all the time, and the grocery stores and the system has adjusted accordingly. In fact, the standard wisdom in the grocery industry is if you or I walk in and they're out of an item, there's a 40% chance on that one event that we will switch our buying pattern. And as a result, the system oversupplies. And it oversupplies at every step. In fact, statistically, it's the only way you can always have everything all the time. And so from the packing shed to the grocery store, an amazing amount of oversupply occurs that results in loss. And then there are those confusing dates. Does anybody know what those dates mean? By the way, only baby food is federally regulated on those dates. All of those other dates are applied by the manufacturers. They tend to be overly conservative. And candidly, what's the difference between Bell Buy or Buy, Sell Buy, Best Buy, More Delicious Buy? And oftentimes, it just ends up an issue of space. Big load comes in, not a place to put it. The next load's coming, and we see literally walls of pallets of food get big dumps stickers on and hauled off to the dump. So $300 billion lost out of the nature of food production, this kind of antiquated logistics system that exists, this abundance expectation that drives oversupply, and then the confusion of dates is a further contributing factor. Now, in some ways you go, how in the world can we be throwing away $300 billion a year and have anybody hungry in this country? And you think, why isn't it just kind of donated away? The problem is altruism turns out to be a really fickle incentive. People are motivated as long as it's convenient. And so what we began to realize is there was a huge economic opportunity and that the solution really had to be a compelling economic solution. And it's kind of a fancy word, arbitrage. And all it really means is capturing something of value that's getting lost and helping it find value again. And that's what we're doing at Food Maven. We capture food out of the food system, revenue rescue for our sellers. It's found money for them. We take it across to the food system, so we're not competing with the grocery system, so our customers are restaurants, food sellers. And then whatever we don't sell, and it's about 25% of what we capture, goes to food banks, goes to hunger relief. And we dramatically increase the amount of food that actually goes to hunger relief because we created a compelling economic system. And then we're on a zero landfill policy as well. Now, the good news, there's growing visibility and awareness. The EPA, the USDA, all kind of underscoring this issue of food waste and lost food. Many of us are working harder on what we do with our refrigerators. Our backyard chickens are happy when they get a little bit of food from us. But I think that the interesting thing here is that there are kind of new realization in the social impact space that these compelling economic models are really the nexus of innovation and transformation. And I invite you all to kind of join as we look upstream for ways that we can be better stewards of this fundamental resource, the food that nourishes and sustains us. Thank you.